Throw your motherfucking hands.
Get 'em high.
Welcome back to another edition of the 1 a.m. pod. I'm Rashad, joined here today by Jelani and RB Mo. Fellas, how are y'all doing?
Doing well, man. Getting ready to take my talents to Puerto Rico.
You going to Puerto Rico like this weekend?
Yeah, I'll be in Puerto Rico Thursday.
Dang, you ain't even tell us.
Oh yeah, surprise. No.
How long you actually I'm not gonna ask that. I was trying to ask how long you're gonna be out there, but people be watching. I don't want people in your business, in case somebody watching you.
Facts. Yeah, I'll be out there for a little bit, gonna get my little
He got 79.
Gonna get my little reggaeton on and whatnot. But yeah, we're gonna be outside. Yeah, how y'all doing?
No, I'm good, bro. If you listen, you heard Rashad say he got 79. He's talking about NBA player Bam Adebayo. We might be witnessing history. He's on the verge of potentially tying or passing Kobe Bryant's record for 81 points tonight. In the nastiest of fashions, though, he has like 40-something free throws. But yeah, no, I respect it either way, though. But yeah, no, I'm good though. Just actually, I'm not good, but things will get better. You feel me? It ain't like nothing with me personally. It's just like, it's just the universe is just a lot happening. If you've been watching the news lately, we I mean, y'all know this dude. His name is Professor Zhang. Have y'all seen his videos before? He's like I guess like a political scientist would be the best way to describe him, but he does like these lectures on YouTube. Keep in mind his channel is not even monetized, so he ain't even doing it for the money. But like he's been going viral because he's been making these predictions about the future of the country. Like he predicted Trump winning, which is like, okay, that's an easy prediction. Rashad, you raise your eyebrows. Did he score again?
No. I was raising my eyebrows because you said he's doing it for the love. He's not even getting paid. He's not even monetized.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's what I raised my eyebrows at. He still at 79. It's 140 left.
Okay. But yeah, he's been doing all these like detailed lectures or whatever. But yeah, he made this prediction about Trump winning like in 2024. That came true, and then he made this prediction about the war starting, in Iran, and that ended up happening. And basically, he was just saying like that's the catalyst for, the big war and all that. So I've been like not trying to fear monger, but I definitely been like just staying aware. Yes, I can stick my belly out.
Is this your brother?
Nah, Easton. He's not. Yeah, Easton, not easily. I don't know who this is though.
Oh, okay.
Shout out to the bots in the chat.
Yeah. Shouts out to the bots.
But yeah,
you said it's Professor James or Professor
James J.I.A.
Jang. J.I. Okay, he was the first person to pop up when I searched Professor, so I was like, oh, I think that's who he was saying, and not James. Yeah, him, this dude. Dang. Oh, he did it. I just got a text message saying he did it.
That's insane, bro.
That's whack, bro. That's whack, bro. I ain't gonna
lie.
I
don't like that. I don't like that either.
Yeah, I don't like bro. You pass up Kobe, bro. Like Kobe got a statue from that 81, bro. You did it from like because they was banger hunting at the end. Like the 70 at the top of the fourth quarter, I respect 100%. But the rest of it to pass Kobe is crazy. That's nasty work, bro.
It's nasty.
That's nasty work.
It's nasty. Yeah, they gotta. And it's against a taking team too. Like I don't know, bro. It's kind of
like Kobe, bro. Hey, rest in peace to Kobe, bro. Like that's crazy, dog. Let me see. He got 81. He got 81 right now. If he had 81, like if I'm Spoelstra, I'm taking him out the game, bro. Like out of respect for Kobe. But even tying it is kind of disrespectful. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, low-key, I feel where you're coming from. But yeah, for anybody listening, if you want to like, get more into like politics, not just on like a surface level of like right versus left, but like what's really going on, why, who pulls the strings, and like, bankers and things like that, yeah, I definitely would suggest you go watch that channel.
So he has nearly 2 million followers and he's not monetized.
He's not monetized. He's doing it for the love of the game. But the
So
predictions he's been saying been coming true though.
okay. He must be also saying like the words like
What do you mean?
BOMB, like GUN.
Oh yeah. No,
Okay,
he's
okay, yeah, yeah.
exactly.
So him
No,
saying all that is the reason why. See, that's what I'm talking about, bro. Like this man has 3.6 million views from a video 7 days ago, a video 14 hours ago, over 500,000 views, nearly 2 million subscribers, and he can't even make a penny off. That's crazy. Because he
yeah,
said
because
because he's saying the way that people talk in real life.
it's real. The algorithm, though, all that's a whole nother discussion about like not being able to say certain words and stuff like that. Wait, not to because we were just talking about the world, like the war and all that. Not to go from that to Puerto Rico, but like Mo, was there like anything in particular as far as like a certain activity like jet skiing or anything like that you was most excited about like, when you go over there? Or anything you had planned out?
So I really wanted to go to. So I'm going with my mom
Okay.
because she just recently retired and whatnot, so she wanted to take a trip. So we're going out there. I really wanted to go to the room.
Oh yeah, congrats.
But I really wanted to go to the rainforest, but she ain't trying to do that, so we're not gonna do that. And then because I wanted to go like hiking, but she ain't trying to do all that. Like, not many people would like to hike. But so I'm gonna save that for another trip. And then so I wanted to go to the beach, the Flamingo Beach. But when I was looking at the tickets, because you got to take a ferry to get there, it was like the return ferry looked like it might be. It's like they have tickets that you can buy once you get there, but it's kind of like I don't know if I want to take that risk if just in case, because I don't want to end up just stuck on another island. Uh, so I'm still like I don't know about that part, but other than that, I don't know. I'm still trying to plan out exactly because those were the two biggest things that I kind of wanted to do. There's this one place that got a cave that I want to go to, so we probably gonna go to that. So I'm looking forward to that. Jet skis sound cool. We'll see, how what that's gonna be talking about. I really want to see old San Juan. That's gonna be fun. Just they said very colorful out there and a lot of history and whatnot. We're gonna be staying in San Juan, so it ain't gonna be too far. And it's a few things. I'm like still trying to plan out the trip completely because I just gotta find stuff that like I'm gonna enjoy that she's gonna want to enjoy as well. So finding that mix. And then low-key, a lot of stuff is low-key kind of far. It's like certain things are he got 83.
That I'm my brain can't process that. First off, that score is disgusting.
Yeah.
Bro, that's almost 300 points scored in an NBA game right there.
Yeah. Whoever had the over on that game hidden.
Absolutely, bro. What? Yeah, Adam Silver, yo, that's nasty, dog. Like, bro, that was 20 years ago, dog.
I thought never in my life that would be broken, bro.
Yeah, like that's the one. It just casually broke that, bro. I didn't even know before you said anything. Like that. When Kobe did that, that was a big deal.
Someone told me it was like in a group chat at halftime. They was like he got 43 at halftime, and they said, "Will he get 81?" And usually when these things happen, you usually end up with like history 3, 2, 1. Ah ha ha! God bless. Salute, 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 salute. God bless. God is the greatest for sure. It was like usually with these things, they usually end up with like 70. You know what I mean? Remember the year where Embiid had 72 and then Luca had 73 and somebody else had like 70. Like I think Donovan Mitchell had 70 on the dot. I thought it was gonna be
Mhm.
one of those things. And then he had like 67 at the start of the fourth. I said, oh, okay. Then he had 70 something in the middle of the fourth. And my thing with this is I remember 2006, the way that we found out these things, bro, you go to sleep, you wake up in the morning, turn on Sports Center before school, and then you find out on Sports Center the next day there's something happened. That's how I found out about Tracy McGrady, 13 points in 35 seconds. That's how I found out about Kobe scoring 81 points. You don't find out until the next day, and it's like this big thing. And I don't know. Now we just casually found out while recording the podcast while Mo was telling us about his upcoming vacation to Puerto Rico. Like, is the casualty of it all of like our reaction being like documented on a live stream for a podcast is insane. I just wanted to say that. So this is a moment in history, a moment in time. I never thought that Kobe Bryant's record would be broken, but here we are. And it's kind of crazy that in the record books it's going to be Wilt Chamberlain 1, Bam Adebayo 2, and then Kobe Bryant number 3. Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
Nah,
my brain
facts.
can't. Yeah, you just summed it up. Like we just casually. Yeah. No, I remember. Like that's definitely how we used to discover things and I definitely think that used to make more of an impact when you would like if you missed a game and you like I still to this day remember being a kid because the Mouse at the Palace that happened on a Friday, and I remember waking up that Saturday morning and I had a stepbrother at the time who was like 5 years older than me, and I remember waking up and him and my dad talking about it in the living room, and then I probably saw the highlights like later that day or whatever, but yeah, we don't have sports moments like that where it that's the thing. It's crazy. It's hard for me to even imagine the time like before we used to check the timeline during games. That's such a part of like the experience now of social media, like the interaction, the memes, and all that. 15 years ago, even like going back to like 2010, like early days of Twitter, it wasn't even that many people on Twitter that was actively tweeting games back then. Like that's a relatively new thing within the last, I would say, 10 plus years. So yeah, we definitely consume sports way different than we used to.
Facts.
Oh, anything else that you want to say? Because this is, this is your chance to give your instant reaction. This history, you know what I'm saying? We got it live on camera.
Nah. I mean, Bam, you foul for that. Cause I'm like, bro, but I guess you only get to have a moment like this once in a lifetime. So I guess I kind of get it, but I think should have just stayed at 81. Just been tired, but to do it against a trash team, just to kind of say you did it when it reminds me of how Wilt did it. So I guess because I mean, bro, have you seen the clips of Wilt like goaltending his own teammates?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
when he was doing that stuff, they didn't need 100 points. Kobe, they needed all 81 of those points. And yeah, with Wilt and Bam now, they're gonna go in history as two Pat statters. You feel me?
Yeah, no, 100%. Just to respond before Jelani goes again, it's like if I was Bam, if I had 79 or 80, I would have remember, y'all know the Chris Paul story in high school where his like granddad died at like the age of 63 or 67, and then he scored 63 points, and then he threw the ball out of bounds when he had free throws to go past that, and then he subbed himself out the game. Like if I'm Bam and I got 80 points, I'm throwing the ball out of bounds. We're up by 40. You already have 79 points on 40 plus free throws. Why not to honor Kobe? Because like everybody who loves the game of basketball, especially our age, because Bam is our age, you know what I'm saying? Like he's a couple years younger than us. So it's like you grew up on Kobe, bro. Like we grew up with 81, salute to Kobe, everything like that. So for you to break it like that is like it's not admirable. It's not, you know what I'm saying? It's not salute. It's nasty. It's nasty For real, for real. Go ahead, Jelani.
I mean, he do still got to get some credit for even putting himself in position to be close to scoring that many. You know what I'm saying? Like, 'cause I didn't, from what I was seeing, he didn't really start playing. They didn't really start like playing for fouls like that to the end of the game. I don't think, but yeah, it's just a hard comparison. And now it's like, I know 81 is such a legendary number, but now it makes it even worse because Kobe, he could have had way more than 81 in that game. He realistically could have got 100. So now it's like, man, in the history books, it's like, yo, he could have just had the record forever. You know what I'm saying? If his coach had just let him stay in the game. My brain just can't process that Bam Adebayo. Like, if you would have told me somebody would break that record, I would have said Luka or Wemby or even, I mean, I know he's getting older now, but like even Giannis, you know what I'm saying? Like somebody like that or SGA. But yeah, Bam Adebayo scored 83 points in a game. Shout out to Bam.
What would have said Devin Booker?
Devin Booker too. Yeah, he got a 70-point game already.
Yeah, but Book had 70. Yeah, so I think Book would have definitely been. I mean, because you got to think Kobe a jump shooter, so a lot of those was on threes and jump shots, bro. Like, so I think we can all agree, right now, out of those three, Kobe was the most impressive.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. My
Shout out.
brains. I mean, people on Twitter not mad though. Like I'm looking, I'm going back and forth between just because it's like, yo, I never saw that happen. People on Twitter is they celebrate him.
Yeah, but it's crazy because it's like they unveiled this statue like right after he passed, and you know what I mean. Like 81 is like, how many rappers have rapped? I might get 81 like Kobe, pull my 81 like Kobe, like for 20 years. Now what you gonna do? I had 83 like Bam, like that don't even hit.
What Kendrick say? 80 pointers like a Kobe game.
Yeah, 80 pointers like a Kobe game.
Yeah,
Peekaboo.
right, exactly. So I don't. Maybe they gotta, like you said, they gotta find a punchline with for Bam now.
Well, they usually already do the shout out Tony Snow, but they always do the I got the Miami on the Heat, my jersey like D Wade, like they always do like I brought the Heat with me like Miami, some way. So like now you're gonna do I got the Heat with me, I got the 83 on me, something like that, or I broke the Kobe with the 83, nickel and diamond, some cool way to say I sell drugs.
I'm trying to think of what will rhyme with Adebayo. Adebayo. What rhymes with that? Damn if I know. You see how I put that off right there? You feel me?
Hold on. You gotta.
Yeah, exactly.
Thanksgiving, DJ Drama.
Yes, sir. You might have just said
Bars
something.
when you come here.
Go ahead, Mo.
Oh, the boys in denial. I bring the heat with me. You know, I'm like Adebayo.
Mr. Thanksgiving, DJ Drama.
It's real hip hop right here.
That's what the pod is all about, man. Giving the people what they want.
Facts, man.
Adebayo bars.
I mean, it was a hard pivot because we don't even do like current events or anything like that. It's more of an evergreen podcast, but I don't know. I wanted to get that moment on wax and stuff like that, and I feel like we'll appreciate it years down the line and stuff like that. Like if your kids are asking, Daddy, where are you about Kobe Bryant record? You'd be like, well, son, YouTube.com. Back to Puerto Rico though. I'm sorry we cut you off like right in the middle of you saying like, yes, I'm looking forward to the experiences and stuff like that, because Bam had 81. So yeah. With that said, like, how do you want to bottle that up the anticipation of the Puerto Rico trip and exploration?
I mean, yeah, I'm excited for it. Should be fun. As I said, gonna definitely should be interesting, growing my mom. Uh I know she doesn't know this yet, but yeah, I'm gonna be stepping out Friday night. Um so
Mr.
yeah.
Thanksgiving, DJ Drama.
So my only thing, because I know she gonna be like, I'm a grown man, and I've traveled, plenty of places all over the world, but it's just like you're gonna be in another country, by yourself, and it's like, I ain't finna be doing nothing crazy. I'm just be out there, probably go to the La Placita, which is not too far from where we're staying, so I'll just call like a little Uber, so I don't have to like. It's not like I'm finna be walking, in the streets of Puerto Rico at night or nothing. And yeah, seem like it's pretty lit out there. So I just want to at least, catch the vibes. I really want to just hear at least one Bad Bunny song while I'm out there. You feel me? Like be in the mix, I saw the you feel me? Like I just want to at least I gotta catch the vibe of that at least once.
Yeah, no, that's like hearing like crunk music in Atlanta, or like like house music in Chicago. Like you going to the real root. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Electronic music in Detroit.
Exactly. Yeah. No, you at the source. Yeah, no, I could imagine. I would. It's crazy. I've never Bad Bunny, like one of the artists. He's one of the maybe the only artists I can think of where I don't actively listen to their music, but I will go to their concert.
Yeah. No,
I
concert
think.
look lit.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just saying concert look lit.
Yeah, no, just off the perform. Like I didn't. I guess I only knew one of his songs at the halftime, but it was a vibe. I enjoyed the show.
Yeah, for me, I went to an Asake concert a couple years ago because my friends invited me out, and then and they loved the sake. Like they were like, yeah, I just got bored with kind of like the general state of music at the time. So they're like, they just started listening to Afro beats and they loved it. So they're like, yeah, this Asake hard, bro. Like you gonna love it. So I went. I ain't know none of the songs. I ain't know a single word, but we was up dancing all night. Shout out my boy Asake.
Nah, that sounds
Yeah,
lit.
Okay.
You go. Yeah, go ahead, Jelani. I was just saying that sounds lit.
No, I was gonna say sometimes, especially I mean, we all men. Like if it's somewhere where, like, even if you at a party, right, and you might not like if you at like a Afrobeats party, or if you at a Caribbean party of some sort, like even if you don't know the music, if you look around and it's people, and by people I mean women, it's women dancing, like you could just catch the vibe. You know what I'm saying? It's like I don't need to know every word of this song. The rhythm is there, people enjoying themselves. I could get in where I fit it a little bit.
I saw someone tweeted there was like it was the price for an R&B party, and they
I
said
saw
all
that.
this. Yo, you saw that?
Yeah.
It was like all this to play Can We Talk and Let Me Love You by Mario. And I was like, yeah, that's real. It was like $90, Mo. The prices of the R&B.
No,
Yeah.
that was the 50%. That was like the discounted ticket. They was having tickets for like $200 for an R&B party. I'm like, bro, what?
Yeah, that's crazy. They better be performing there live. You feel me?
That's what I'm saying. You better have Kalani, everybody that you playing that night better be coming out and singing for me.
Yeah, like I've been to a couple like R&B parties, and tickets were probably about like 30 something, and yeah, great time. Like I love like R&B parties because you really do get into like a different bag. But yeah, that's crazy. The $200 is like I don't see why anybody would ever pay that personally.
Yeah,
Well,
go ahead, Jelani.
no, you good, bro.
I was just gonna say there was a Mac Miller party down here a couple months ago, and I was really excited to go. And I didn't end up going. I think it was like I was tired because it was the end of the week or something like that, and I just didn't go. I wanted to go. Go ahead, Jelani.
No, I was gonna say, in Atlanta, especially, I mean, there's an R&B party. It feels like every day of the week down here. I'm
Yeah.
always seeing uh R&B party, here or there, or the R&B night, or R&B karaoke, or trap R&B. This, like, it's always something going on. So yeah, I can't understand the logic of spending, like you said, more than $30-$40 at most for even that is like, bro, that's y'all doing a lot.
Yeah. Yo, speaking of, man, this past weekend I went to a Drake party. Lit.
I believe you.
Bruh. Oh, crazy. It was packed out. It was when I looked at it, it said over 1,100 tickets sold, bro. The thing was sold out.
Where was it? Where was it at?
Some spot over on 10th Street. Not too far from Atlantic Station. It's really like around the corner from do you know where the painted duck is?
I don't think I've been there, but I've heard it before.
Yeah, over by like close to Howell Mill, pretty much.
Okay.
That's where I used to live, bro.
Oh, I know exactly.
Like
Yeah.
he kept naming stuff, and I was like, bro, that's exactly where I live, bro.
Okay, nah, I know that area because I met Rashad not too far away from here.
Yeah, bro. It was over there, bro. That thing was so lit. I'm not even gonna lie, man. It was just seeing a group of people all come together for the enjoyment of the GOAT. You feel me? It was just like, what you finna say, Rashad?
He said, I know y'all seen Bam score 83 points. Jordan was hand. Yeah, we opened up the pod with that. I was just gonna say, so shout out Drake, bro. Like, the last couple of days, I just been, I wanted to make sure that Drake know, you know what I'm saying? They don't, ain't no disrespect or nothing like that. Like, um, we because like I interviewed Reezy earlier this week. Y'all make sure y'all check out Leader of the Youth EP and stuff like that. We didn't really get into his EP, which I'm sure he didn't like. And I was talking to someone and they watched it and they were like critiquing me on that, not asking him about the actual project enough. But I did bring up how Drake, was playing his song on stream, and then he was like, I was like, but we on a time crunch. I'm gonna keep it moving. And I want to come across the shade. And he said, shout out to Drake. And then I put the mic to him. He said, shout out Drake. I said, shout out Drake. We had that. So I was just like, I think regardless of everything recently of the last couple of years, it's like with Drake, bro. I think he still deserves respect for the old stuff. Like, right? Like, because there's a lot of great music from the old stuff that has like, stood the test of time. And even if it hasn't, even if to some people, if it hasn't, like to the people who were there at that time, like it brings you back to that time and all the nostalgic memories connected to it. And really some anthems like Moment for Life is probably one of the greatest hip hop songs ever. Started from the bottom, probably one of the greatest hip hop songs ever. I know some people will say Wu Tang Forever and start going on that bag. I ain't gonna go that far, but those two songs are two of the greatest rap songs ever, along with Lifestyle from Rich Gang and stuff like that. So, and Bedrock was one of the biggest rap songs of our time too. So commercially speaking, so shout out to Drake and all the moments that he's been a part of, and creating moments from my childhood and my teenage years. Definitely a staple. So I salute him for that.
I love how you just casually threw Drake on Lifestyle.
No, you say, well, it was like when Rich Homie died, and I wrote a quick obit for Rich Homie. I was like, he was a part of Lifestyle, one of the greatest hip hop songs ever, and like I wanted people to understand, like these are some of the greatest hip hop, because people won't give stuff credit because it's not old enough, and I'm like, no, I think it's easy to say like Moment for Life, Started from the Bottom are two of the greatest hip hop songs ever, and you can say as well, Lifestyle is one of the greatest rap songs ever. Like I don't think we have to wait 20 years to say that.
Oh yeah, no, Lifestyle. I thought you were saying it like Drake was on Lifestyle.
No.
Okay.
I was just saying like from that era, those are probably like
yeah.
You can pin as greatest rap songs ever.
Oh, for sure. No, that's definitely a classic.
No, that's a fact, bro. No, You know, it's interesting. I was talking with somebody a couple days ago, well, last week, and was talking about, he was just like, man, it's just crazy. Like, he was like, yeah, Drake, like the how everything like shifted for him, and I was like, I like it did to an extent, but if you really think about it, I feel like we're now at a point where a lot of people are. I think this moment was, in hindsight, low key a win-win for both of them because Drake's streaming numbers have been the highest that they've been, like the last year or so, and it's really, I think what happened is because of the break, and especially 2024, it was such a like break where you just nobody was really listening to Drake, because if you listening to Drake, it felt like it was like a stigma with it. But yeah, um and that's a crazy photo. But uh when that happened, it gave time for people to be like, to then go back and want to go back and listen to the old Drake and listen to just him in general, I feel. And that's why a lot of his older albums are charting a lot more than they did. Like right now, I think Take Care is like 33 in the top 200 right now. I think Nothing Was the Same is like right behind that. And like, Some Sexy Song for You is all in there. And I think they said he got like 8 songs charting in the top 100 or so, you know. Not 8 songs, but 8 albums. And so, but it was interesting because I feel like now it's, that moment happened, but it made people appreciate, because he needed a break. I think genuinely, like, people just kind of needed a break from him, and then now they're like, all right, we back on it. And honestly, as I said, with being at that concert, it was wild, like seeing everybody go crazy over. You feel me? Like literally the whole crowd screaming at the top of their lungs, "What am I doing? What am I doing?" It's like you play that in a club now, like just a regular club, people gonna be vibing, but they ain't finna be singing it to the top of their lungs. And it was like literally every song that was played. And as a Drake fan, I really enjoyed it because I'm in a crowd full of people where everybody is just singing every song, every word for word. Sometimes you be out in the club, it's like, all right, I can't do too much, It's like you don't seem like that big of a fan, you feel me? But it's just literally everybody in there, just every song going crazy. So yeah, great way to start the summer. Summer ain't even started, but I feel like that was like the first little event for the summer for me. And yeah, it was fun. We outside.
Yeah, I'm a Drake fan. But even back when this song came out, I never liked Over like that, bro. I don't know what it was about that song. Like, I don't over that whole that was a kind of an awkward album for Drake. Like the Thank Me Later album. No, don't get me wrong. There's heat on there. Like, there's definitely some great songs on that album. But I feel like he talked about this before. I think that was like him kind of trying to aim more for I'm not gonna say for the pop charts, but he was definitely. There's like a lot of random features on there. Like, yeah, it was just kind of like an awkward album compared to Take Care, where I felt like he really like carved his sound out by that point.
Yeah, I feel like Thank Me Later definitely was more of him going to industry.
Yeah.
Because it's like you said, you got a Jeezy feature on there. You got Alicia Keys with him on the hook. I mean, on the intro, and
The Dream is on there.
Yeah, so it's the stuff of I finally made it into the industry. Now I'm getting these different looks, and then but by Take Care, it was kind of all right. I don't need all that, and so now I'm finna kind of hone into who I feel like I am, but
yeah. Not to make this about Drake Kendrick. I just been thinking about this a lot lately. Like, Buried Alive interlude, the fact that that's a real song, that like it's almost like now that everything played out how it played out over the last 15 years, that's one of the wild. Like, yo, this man Kendrick had a skit on a Drake album, like not just a skit, like a whole like a whole separate interlude. There's basically a full length, like his own. It's not a full song, but like the fact that that's a real thing that happened is so crazy to look back on, bro. Because I think that's the first time. That wasn't the first time I heard Kendrick, but that was probably the first time I really listened to something Kendrick had done. And then that next year, that's when I really started to like get into his music. But yeah, no, that's crazy. I was just thinking about that song the other day.
Yeah. One last thing I want to say. One song I've been listening to, and I saw a video of somebody like listening to it. Like it was an older white dude. Like his son was playing it for him for the first time. Look what you've done. You know, and it's like songs like that. I think back on, it's like those are the, you know, as you said, like now, and I get where you know, Rashad, when you was talking about how you feel he doesn't really have substance anymore, you know, and like I get it because it is more of a superficial substance. Like, you know, as I said, in my opinion, I think it is still a substance to an extent, but it is more superficial than anything now. But then when you think back on like songs like "Look What You've Done," man, it's just like, because when Buddy was, I was watching the video, dude, listen, yeah, like Buddy start crying. You know, actually, I think this is the one. I think. Well, I know it's just a white guy. I can't exactly remember. But
I know this. They're pretty popular for father-son reactions for white people, and then this is the popular black father and son reaction, bridging the gap. Shouts out to my boys. We were supposed to do an interview years ago. They finally end up reaching back out to the folks at my old job, and they did the interview, and I looked at it, and it was done so wrong. I was like, bro, I would have did that so much better. Anyways, and so I tried to reach out to them on my personal email after it, but they haven't responded. I'm like, dang. Yeah, I know, right? But yeah. So that's why I pulled it up.
yeah, I mean, and I think this might be the father-son duo that I saw. I just can't remember exactly. But yeah, but as I said, the dad, when he was listening to it for the first time, like started crying because it was just like, yeah, because you know, it's like that's what everybody fell in love with Drake for, you know, like you really talking about like your, like it's 09 blah blah blah, you know, it's like talking about like his situation with his mom and you know all that stuff. And yeah, you know, I'll never forget when he debuted Too Much on, I think it was like Jimmy Fallon, and you know that was the first time that his family heard that song. And you know, it's like stuff like that where it's just like getting real personal and just really talking about real life situations. And yeah, it makes me think about like all the stuff that like my family had done for me, you know. And it's like, yeah, look what y'all done, you know.
I will say this. I've been thinking about this for a week, Mo.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you mentioned that point. So you said it, you was like, it might not be substance to you because it's not something that you could relate to necessarily per se. Like you say, like you might not be on vacation with a baddie, da, 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 da. And I was like, okay, but I did connect with like someone like a Kyle who would be like, oh yeah, I was the weird kid growing up. Da, 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 da. But you know what I'm saying? He's rapping really well. Like I could relate to that. That doesn't mean that he was rapping with substance.
I mean, as I said, I think it's substance, but it's superficial. But I still think it's substance. I think Kyle has some substance, you know. Like yeah, I think Kyle has
some substance, but I wouldn't be like Kyle like was talking about something. Like Kyle was just talking about his life. So I mean, I guess that is something, but I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, and that's why I say, like, I think it's substance if people can relate to it, you know. Whoever needs to relate to it, that feels seen and feel heard when they listen to it, that's substance for them. You know, just how with Kendrick talking about the black plight, that substance for us. For white people, is what is he talking about? You know, and that's why up until the beef, like he was like, you know, white people maybe knew Kendrick, but it's so many white people that definitely were just like, after the Super Bowl performance and all that, they were like, in the beef and everything, they like, oh yeah, like I know who the guy is now. Like telling me they literally never knew who he was until this moment, you know? And that's just the realization that I've heard from like a decent amount of white people before. So, and that's no like slight to him, but I'm just saying realistically, because most of the music was more geared towards the black plight. So to them, it wasn't really substance. You feel me? And so that's why I say if you can relate to it, then I feel like it could be something. Just like 21 Savage. Some people say he ain't talking about nothing. Future. People say Future don't talk about nothing. Future got mad substance. Bruh, that man, when I heard Throwaway for the first time, that nigga get it over with. You feel me? Like, it's like, but for real, like, Future, a lot of his songs, like, they would say, you know, and that's why he's very respected by a lot of people. But, you know, as I said, at the same time, a lot of people be listening like, what is he talking about? You know? So,
you know, Future probably has, you could argue Future has like more substance than a lot of the lyrical rappers, for real. Because it's not like he just, like, yeah, he can do the songs where he's just, you know, he's, the thing about Future is that I believe it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a certain level of detail to what he's saying. Where it's I know he did the interviews like some years back where he was like, yeah, I don't really do that much drugs as I be saying and all that, which I'm sure is true. He probably exaggerates, but some of that stuff is like, nah, bro. Like he said he just got certain lines. Like he had a line where he's like, I disguise pain when I make it rain. It's just like little stuff like that. That's why he's one of my favorite rappers of all time, because it's like, anybody else, they wouldn't have said anything like that, you know what I mean? Or when he says, you know, I bought all the sodas at the gas station. Like, it's just casual stuff like that makes me a Future fan, you know.
Facts, you know.
Tony, shout out Eskimo Tony Snow. He said it one time. He was like, bro, a lot of the quote unquote lyrical rappers, those are like the real mumble rappers, as opposed to like what other people would consider mumble rap. It's like they just not saying nothing. Like if you rapping real fast and you're not saying anything, versus someone who does have a more simple, relaxed flow and might even slur their words a little bit. Great example, V's, Lucky, like those guys slur their words. You know, they're kind of like Future kids, right? But they're saying like a lot of stuff, you know what I'm saying? Like V's can rap really well. And I don't know if V's will ever fully get the credit just because he's like, he's slurring it. But like V's really be rapping.
No, in fact, another person that really be rapping, but it's just hard for me to get into, Rilo Rodriguez.
Yo.
See, now him, okay, here I go with Rilo. Rilo, he be talking about stuff, but it kind of goes into the category of Rod Wave for me. Like it's just too much blues. Like I rock with songs about the struggle and stuff like that. Like, okay, you had a tough life, like you rapping about the struggle because people they could really connect with that on a personal level. But gosh, Lee, every song that I hear from Rilo is like rapping about the struggle. I'm like, goodness gracious, did you ever have any good times? Like, it's the blues, it's all pain. Like, I don't know, man. It's kind of tiring for me personally.
No, I agree with that. I don't listen to a lot of Rilo, but I've heard some songs, him and No Cap. I think No Cap is kind of very similar to that too, you know, but I do appreciate, you know, a few songs that they have, but I can't listen to a bunch of it, you know. I will say No Cap's last mixtape, Before I Disappear Again. That was actually a really good tape from like top to bottom. I think like that boy be rapping. He definitely be having some bars, but then it'd be a lot of like, you know, as you said, a lot of emotions in there. He'll turn up a little bit, but then it's like, then it back to being kind of sad. You know, it's like we in the hood. It's, you know, like I don't know, bro. Like
I think those are both Alabama boys too. So shouts out to Alabama.
Yeah, no, in fact, shout out to Bama.
Pain music is my by far my least favorite form of hip hop. But like I love NBA YoungBoy as a rapper, but it's like definitely for me more of his either his more turn up songs or his more like smooth songs. But like once the acoustic guitar start coming in and the little piano in the background, like the set, it's like, bro, I'm cool on that, man. I like the songs more so like Shot Calling or Free D Dog or Make No Sense. Like those type of songs are my type of young boy songs. I respect the whole genre because obviously the kids love it. Like you see the Raw Waves, you see the young boys, like they do crazy numbers and they make the sadder type of music. But
that's scary to me. Like I've always said that. I'm pretty sure I've said that on this pod before. Like that's scary to me that they are the top artists of this generation.
I mean, most of these kids are sad, man.
That's what I'm saying. I think we should be afraid. I mean, not afraid, but like people should like kind of open their eyes. That girl, y'all seen that girl? Rest in peace to Jada West. Out there in Douglas County, 12 years old, was bullied, followed off of the bus, and so she kind of just stopped and was like, "Why y'all following me? Why y'all keep talking about me? Do something, then, girl." Like she just started trash talking her, and then they start fighting. They broke up the fight. And then I think they said Jada, she walked home. When she got inside, she dropped. She had cardiac arrest. And that was it. 12 years old over there in Douglas County, New Manchester area and stuff like that. That was sad. And it's just so many stories of that with this generation of kids of, going out one way or another with a lot of emotional, mental stuff. And obviously the kid from Georgia State that took his life or reportedly took his life on Booth Road. You know what I'm saying? Like just a couple weeks ago, that kid was 21, and I know people who knew him and used to room with him over at Georgia State, and so what I'm saying, just hearing stories about how he was kind of going through the ups and downs of normal 21-year-old stuff, but the generation needs help, bro. and everything they do is like a cry out for help. And I feel like a lot of times we kind of bypass it and we just kind of just talk about how bad the generation is instead of like, how can we make this better for the following generation, for the kids that come behind them.
No, facts. Yeah, it is definitely sad. I feel like, a lot of these kids, but it's a product of like social media for real. That's why, a lot of they're starting to take away certain, like they're taking away social media and like schools and stuff, like where like now you can't have your phone, and if you have like the apps on your phone, you got to delete them, at least for the time when you're in like school and stuff. I remember they used to have like blockers on the stuff, but kids got ways to get around that. But they're thinking about adding like age limits to this stuff. And I think social media is going to be in another like 20, 30 years, it's going to be this generation's cigarettes. Because you think about in like the 50s and the 60s, everybody was smoking a cigarette. They said a cigarette was good for your health, help you lose weight, blah, 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 stuff like that. And now, they don't. Now we clearly know that's not the case. And I think that's the same with social media, how it's going to be. How, you see the kids that are on like Twitch and, like the Rakais and all the kids that want to be just like Rakai and stuff like that. And they're really not going down the best path because they just they're not really learning nothing. Like these kids don't know nothing. It's like they just want to be famous and they getting money. But yeah, it's interesting. But they talk about how with certain, I know they said like alcohol consumption and stuff is down with like the younger generations and stuff. So, but it's interesting. They say the alcohol consumption down because I'm like, these kids are doing whippets. Like these kids they popping perkies.
Yeah.
So you get your hand on some walk hard, you feel me? It's like, what do I need? Like that boy Future, yet against the advertising, I told the waitress I don't drink liquor, I drink lean. So
real nutrition right there.
Right.
Nah, the kids, I mean, I feel like there's a lot of different reasons for why they don't drink as much as they used to, but I just feel like it's just I just don't think alcohol is as big of a part of American culture as it used to be. You know what I'm saying? Like also these kids can't afford to, not even the kids, just people in general can't afford to go to these bars most of the time. Like you let alone somebody that's like 21, 22 years old. But yo, not to get sidetracked with somebody on Twitter, yo, the timeline, they've been going crazy about the band performance. Somebody on Twitter said, hold on a second, bro. They said this N-word Bam Adebayo broke Kobe's record, and y'all think we not in the end times. Start getting right with God before it's too late. Yo, it's a lot of people they torn. It's like half the people is like, yo, we respect it, and then it's half of Twitter that's like outraged right now. Like, yo, like this is everything that's wrong with Adam Silver's league. Bro, I'm still trying to wrap my head around it that's the person that broke. And Bam is he's had a great career so far. So it ain't even like he's a scrub or nothing like that. It's just like he's not they said Bam's career high before tonight was like 33.
No, that's insane. He ain't never had 40 before?
Let me Google real quick just to make sure that's.
Yeah, I want to say what do I want to say? Oh, going back to the youth thing. In the meantime, someone was like, the problem is with these kids is they don't have any youth programs. And then someone was like, yo, hey, it's me. I work with the youth, and we've had 3 programs shut down in like the last 5 years because we start stuff up, and the kids the entire time they just want to be on like in their phones. They just want to be on social media. And I'm like, dang, that's crazy. But I think, okay, yeah, I ain't even gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie like I have the solution. It's just like they're addicted. You know what I'm saying? They're addicted. And, we're addicted too as an adults, but we at least lived a life before cell phones. So I think if we ever had to detach from cell phones, we will be okay eventually. Kids, not so sure because they grew up with it. Like they had digital pacifiers. So
it's been so long for us though since we lived that life without social media. Like
you're right.
The last time when it was, I'm trying to think of like, okay, we had social media like MySpace and stuff when I was in like middle school, but I had to get on the computer for that. Like I didn't have that in my pocket. The last time that I didn't have access to social media in my pocket might have been like 2010 maybe, like because by the time we got to like 2011 I had a Twitter account, I had a smartphone, like I could get on Twitter on my phone by that point. Yeah, so like you said, now like these kids, if we as adults, if we're addicted, then how do you tell a 16-year-old kid like, yo, take a break from your phone for an hour to, you know what I'm saying? Like it's bad. And then you can't regulate as much as you can try to regulate what they see. You can't regulate what these kids are really seeing on social media. Now, luckily they got the things with we gotta say corn on here, but with the ID and stuff like that, where you got to verify your ID, but it's still a bunch of different ways you can access that type of stuff too. You know what I'm saying? Without, if you really want to see it bad enough.
No, so, that's a fact.
So yeah, like, my bad, bro.
No, go ahead. What you finna say?
Yeah, so I was just saying. So yeah, like, I definitely feel for the kids as far as with social media.
Yeah. And, especially with social media, man, there's so much, one of the reasons that I stopped getting on Twitter as much is because of all the, like, all the corn on there, bro. But yeah, it's like you'll just be scrolling, and the next thing you know, you'll see, you'll just see, you feel me? And I remember it was one dude I used to follow that used to always retweet like stuff like that. And I used to be like,
Bro, he went to our high school,
yeah,
bruh. I think I unfollowed him. Like I unfollowed him a few years ago. Like I either muted him or unfollowed him. But yeah, that he was out of pocket, bro. All
yeah,
times of the day, 4 a.m., 5 a.m., 6 a.m., 2 p.m., 1 p.m. I'm like, bro, like, do you know all your followers went to Marietta High School? Like,
Does their name start with an R or a P?
yes.
It does start with an R.
For me, yes.
I feel like I know who. I feel. Is it two initials?
And the second letter is also a letter.
yeah. Well, so him, but then there's also one of his, like a person he was cool with, Buddy. His name started with like a D, and he dated. I'll just put it in a group. But yeah, but
I
that
was about to say that does it rhyme with and I was gonna say like Sean, the basketball player, the number 31.
No.
Okay. You know who I was saying?
No.
Okay, all right, never mind. yeah. People watching, bro. People watching for sure. So
People watching us right now.
yeah.
Oh wow!
But
Shout out to you.
also like in general, people be watching like replays and all that and stuff.
Oh, the pod. You had somebody bring up the podcast to you?
People just be like, they'll text you and they'll be like, or the next time I talk to people, they'll be like, yeah, I watched your stream last night and it's on. Yeah, and I'll be like, dang, why you ain't saying nothing, like just watching? That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, bro.
Oh, okay.
Hold on, look. This the basketball player I was saying.
Oh yeah. Facts. Yeah, bro. Yeah, he used to go crazy. I'll be like, dog.
Them boys tripping, bro.
Bruh.
Yeah, you gotta be.
Both of them were like good friends too, you know.
Okay, but so, okay, hold on.
But in the meantime, man, bro, like, yeah, I literally had to clean my Twitter, bro, and it took like weeks, dog. Like, you know, I was just muting. Yep, Jelani.
Yo, it's crazy how I just guessed. Yo,
no. It wasn't no. It was like the whole school
guessed.
probably seen it because his whole following was the school. I'm like, bro, all these people that follow you know you in real life, and you just reposting this, retweeting it all day, every day. Like, it's crazy. But yeah, I had to clean up my Twitter for anyone who needs advice on just cleaning up your Twitter or any social media, whether it be Instagram, Facebook, or something like that. Like for Twitter, you just have to mute every single account. When you see the for you or something like that, just mute it. Mute the account, mute the account, mute the account, mute the account. And then before a while, all of it will be gone. And then for like Instagram and Facebook, what you got to do is you got to go to just different type of stuff. So what I would do is, like, I like looking at food. I like watching food videos, vegan videos and stuff like that. And then also, like, you know, just obviously sports and basketball. So I would just go on like food accounts and stuff like that, and then look at the stuff, and then just keep the page open for like 3 seconds at a time before scrolling to the next post. 3 seconds at a time, 3 seconds. So then it will retrain the algorithm to no longer just be like this one girl that you just stayed on the picture for like 2-3 seconds, because then that'll be your entire explore page. And that's how you clean up your social media. And if it ever goes back to the other way, then you just got to retrain it again.
Yeah, no, I definitely, my Instagram, you know, because that's mainly where I be at. And yeah, I had to go through, and so mainly all my stuff is either like health stuff about like food, like just cooking, or just like workout stuff. That's the main thing. But then every now and then, you know, I'll get caught up. Could I have like a reel of a girl, you know, throwing it? I might watch it on accident, not on accident. I might watch it, and next thing you know, now I see like 3-4 of those in my For You. So then
see, the thing is too, they don't even necessarily just like flat out allow that like really on the mainstream anymore. Like it'd be the ones that be like a woman like recording a day in her life or something like that. You know what I mean? Or they're doing something like walking to the cabinet and then reaching for something or whatever. And then like that's supposed to be, and they'll play like a comedy skit over it as a sound. But like but they got their shirt pulled up or like some biker pants or something like that. I'm like, bro, like yeah, they'll find creative ways to like post that junk and get the attention because you know what I mean it's monetized now. So I mean back in the day, like 13 days, it was really just for followers, clout, for the love of the game. Now it's like they trying to get a career off this.
Fact. Shout out Miss Twerksome. Like there's this one lady that I saw that it was funny. So she did a post of it was her like walking to like it was like a beautiful view in the background and like she was like on a balcony or something like that, and so she's walking like drinking her coffee or whatever, but then from the angle of which she came in is she was thick, and so she had on like either tights or like pajama pants, something like that, you feel me? And then it's like from the angle she comes in, it's like the first thing you notice is her butt, you feel me? Like, and then she walks, she's just like like, and it was something about God, you feel me? And it was like, yeah, like God, thank God for these beautiful moments or something like that, right? So then I'm like, come on, man. So then I look in the comments and then somebody says something and then she'll just like, so what y'all like I can't just she was like defending herself like I can't just enjoy a beautiful view, like y'all need to get y'all minds out the gutter. And I'm like, come on, fam. Like God is gonna pull this up when you trying to get into the gates. You feel me? Because like what you were doing. It's like the angle in which you walking. Right. It's like you could have easily just started the video where you was like far away, and then it's like at that point, like I'm not gonna shame you for having a body. You feel me? It's just like if it's there, it's there. You want to enjoy the view, blah blah blah. But it's like you walking in. And that's the first thing that somebody's going to see. You feel me? It's like, come on now. So, I don't know.
You look at the video after you recorded it.
Exactly.
When you posted it. Like, so it's like, stop acting like we dumb, bro. Like, especially if you have a following. If you developed a following, you probably posted something like that before. Like, that's like, it might even be the theme of your page of like what you post. You know which angle that you get the most compliments, the most comments, and the most engagement from. Your goal as a content creator is to get the most engagement because the most engagement gives you the most money. Breaking news.
Mr. Thanksgiving.
Breaking
DJ
news.
Drama.
The most engagement gets the most money. So you want the most money. So what are you going to do? You're going to do the angles and the shots that get you the most comments, the most engaged, so you can get that. Come on, man. Like, stop acting dumb. And then you're using God's name in it. It's crazy because it's like now you're lying on God, trying to act oblivious to what you're doing. Like the scariest thing, you know how people be sinning and they be like, God knows my heart. The rebuttal to that is like, that should scare you. That's just scary that he knows your, because he knows your intentions behind everything. Like everything that you think you doing that might try to fool the people right here, he knows exactly why you did it. So it's like, stop playing with God's name, bro. At the end of the day.
No, that's a fact.
I was just the whole that could be a whole nother conversation right there. Like the things people, as far as the like the whole like religious side of social media, like the things that people do are willing to do in order to get promotion and things like that. I'm not even like a super overly religious person, but like it's just certain stuff I don't want to play around with. I feel like you low key, like if you out here wilding and you sinning, you know what I'm saying, as long as it's not like certain crazy stuff like harming women or children, I feel like you more ethical than somebody who's like under the pretense of God, like you got these people on social media who like it's almost like it's like a community, like religious Twitter. Like it's like there's like religious influencers is what I was trying to say. Like there's some people that there's really what they into, like they genuinely trying to spread the word and they're networking with other people from that community, and I respect that. But then you got the people where it's just they just doing it either strictly for monetary purposes or for cloud purposes. Like, every quote every post got a Bible quote. They conveniently, they somehow, they got these high paying jobs, but they can't tell you how they get their money. And, it's a lot of stuff going on in that community too, religion. I feel like especially down here, like these mega churches and things like that. Like it's a lot of nasty stuff going on with, people playing with religion.
I mean, you said it right here, Jelani. I mean, it's in the Bible, talking about lukewarm. So because you are lukewarm, neither hot nor cold, I'm about to spit you out my mouth. It's like the same thing. If like it's better for a person who never even knew of the word of God or anything like that, never received the word or anything like that in their heart, than to know it and not abide by, what I'm saying, what he wrote. So, yeah, I mean, it's as simple as that, bruh. Like, you looking down on so-and-so, judging so-and-so, and then you secretly, using the word of God to push your agenda. Like that's nasty work. It just is what it is. And you masking it by throwing the word God on it. And, people gonna go for it because God is a sensitive word. It's the most powerful word is Jesus. You know what I mean? So it's like you throw God or Jesus in it, and people just gonna blindly follow it. So and not ask questions because they're scared to ask questions about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, that's a fact. That's a fact. I definitely feel like that's the easiest. It's sad, but I do think that's like the easiest grift now. Is like
100%. 100%.
I'm saying now it's been like that forever, bro. It
Yeah,
probably was easier. When it probably was really easy, like to grift off of, probably like civil rights era.
Oh.
The reason why I'm saying that is because the black church was like for a long time. That's all Black people had. Like it wasn't like you could get like a lot of government benefits and things like that. Like Black people had to rely on the Black church. If you like, they had these food pantries now. Like that was the food pantry. That was the we ain't got clothes. You know what I'm saying? So like, if you really did want to infiltrate and scheme and find a way to get some of that money yourself, I feel like that was probably like an easy come up back then to like become a pastor or something like that.
Yeah, I know. May said he flies commercial because he said people they be tripping on him already for like the lifestyle he lives as a pastor. And I'm like, Mace, bro, it ain't no way around it, bro. Like,
You a pastor?
yeah, Mike, May still preach. Yeah, May still preach.
I did not know. I put that on everything I love. I thought that he retired from that.
No. I want to go to his I want to go to his church one of the Sundays for sure.
Wait, where does he preach at?
I think he I want to say like Stone Mountain-ish.
Oh, he still got a church here.
Yeah,
I know he started down here
but it's crazy because that show was in Vegas.
Yeah.
So I'm like, how the heck? Like, so does he like be in Atlanta the whole day and then fly to Vegas at night?
He probably just comes here for weekends, but but I know they shoot the show in like seasons though. Like it's not just
yeah, that too. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like they'll shoot like for like 3 months and then take off like 2 months or something like that. Or, they got they schedule it kind of like around what time of year certain sports are popping,
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I'm trying to see because when you search it on Google, like the Gathering Oasis pops up, and he was only the Gathering Oasis pastor for like how long was he the pastor there? It was only for like in between their old pastor left, so he was like the interim pastor, and then they got another one. But there's one church that he created, Like he found it. It might be this World Changers. Or is World Changers? No, that's not Creflo. What's World Changers? Who's this?
Who y'all
Oh,
talking
that
about?
is not Mace. Oh, no, that's Creflo. That's Creflo.
Mace.
Okay, I thought World Changers. Mace's Church.
Yeah, I didn't know Mace still had a church down here. I know
Yeah.
he used to have one like when he first left Bad Boy, he was what school was he? I think he was on a Clark. Yeah, he had enrolled. It was either he enrolled in Clark and then he started doing the preaching like not too long after that. But I didn't know he still had the church. That used to be a controversial thing. I feel like it's not so much now, but that definitely used to be like something people kind of, especially when he came back to rap at first.
Yeah.
Yeah, people was on his head about that.
And then who was that went on Breakfast Club that said they don't rock? Oh, Dave East. No, it wasn't Dave East. It was
Was it Jim Jones?
Nah, it was someone light skinned though. So we in the ballpark. Joyner Lucas. It was Joyner Lucas. He said, I don't rock with that. Cause it was like you doing that on Monday through Saturday and then going in. Bro, look at this graphic, bro. Like, come on, bro.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like I pulled this up to see the Joyner Lucas thing about Mace, and I saw that. All right, let me see. Joyner Lucas, Mace.
Yo, real quick, how'd y'all feel about Lil Russell comments on Lil Wayne?
I mean, he got. I think he caught enough of blows for it. I didn't think it was something where he should be like banished or canceled or nothing like that. But it's just if what he said has a small amount of validity, which I don't agree with. I think Wayne had plenty of content if you really listen to Wayne music, like not just the radio singles or if you listen to the albums or the mixtape, he has plenty of songs with content. But it's just certain people it's like if you, I don't know, it's like a relatively new NBA player being like, Kevin Durant never really, Kevin Durant would have been a better player if he put some weight on. It's like, bro, listen, like you kind of missing the point, bro. Like KD is already KD. Like it's whatever criticism you have, I'm sure there might be some validity to it, but it's like, dog, listen, you ain't carved out your legacy yet. His legacy is carved out. Like, just certain people don't need to speak on certain people until you reach a level. If you're gonna be in the same profession as them. Now, if you're a music critic, do your job. But if you're a rapper talking about another rapper and you're not even close to that level yet, and probably realistically will never get there just because Wayne is Wayne, you might just want to keep that to yourself.
Facts. No, I agree. Well, so Rashad, what's your thoughts on it? Because I know you were never a big Wayne fan.
Yeah, I think where Lil Russell went wrong was not the initial opinion. It was he kept going back, like he kept speaking on it. He kept addressing it. You're not gonna beat the internet, bro. Like, if you're on the internet long enough, you're gonna have a take that the majority of like the general public won't agree with. When that happens, you just kind of have to take it, pause, right? Like, I mean, that's just how it is. And he kept trying to clarify it, and he was taken out of context. And didn't hey man, I didn't mean this about I love Lil Wayne. Like he tried to do that whole thing. I think Wayne, I think we all can agree with this. Like, although like what Jelani said, it took like 6 years, you'll be okay. I'm trying to think. What I'm trying to say? Okay. You can agree, right, that Wayne's content might not always be like the most progressive or whatever, making shape shifting stuff and stuff like that. That might be the case. However, no one can deny like Wayne's technical skills and abilities. He changed the course of rap music forever. I know a lot of people would say for better or worse, with the freestyling thing and bragging about not writing his rhymes and bragging about just going in there and freestyling one take and it being like sensational. So I think Wayne's rapping ability is a talent in itself. Now the stuff he's rapping about, that is subjective up to the person if you know it meant something or anything like that. But the punchlines, the metaphors, like the whole setup is all of the rap that I like, right? Like Childish Gambino, and you can go down the line, right? So without Wayne, those guys aren't even kind of the way that they sounded coming up.
I feel you on that. And the only thing I say is, maybe Lil Russell just wasn't like really deep into Wayne catalog, because I remember seeing somebody break down a long list of songs where Wayne is actually talking about something. And I do know, like, of course, what made him more famous, of course, is the freestyles over the beats, the no ceilings, and him just like a milli, stuff like that, him going crazy like that. But at the same time, he got songs like Hustler Music, like Tie My Hands, Something You Forgot, So if you really go through his discography, he got music talking about something, And so I think if you just wasn't that big of a fan of his, then it's like it's easy to think like, oh, he wasn't talking about nothing ever. Like, because all you heard was just the major stuff that, and Buddy being from Oakland or from the Bay, it's no telling, if they were bumping Wayne out there like that, and that's like, yeah, everything you said is subjective. I think right now, I remember I had put on my cousins to Rich Kids. And, to me, Rich Kids is one of the greatest, groups all time. But, I put them onto them and, they end up really liking them and everything. But, there's a lot of people who would listen to Rich Kids and be like, man, they ain't talking about nothing. Like, what is this? You feel me? And it's like, but hey, I don't know. Sometimes you just gotta, if you dig deeper into it, or you have somebody show you the right music, that's really how it be sometimes. You just gotta have somebody show you the right song sometimes with an artist. And if people don't show you the right song that you feel like really hits, or all you hear is their major hits, then you're gonna have a certain perspective of them.
Yeah, no, I could see how somebody who, if you only listen to the radio, you could just think that, especially, I mean, more recent way, how you would think that it was just, eating box and banging blood and skateboarding at one point. But like, for those of us that was real Wayne fans, like, it's he talks about a lot of different stuff. I mean, he's talked about, certain songs, like the most famous ones, like the whole like Georgia Bush freestyle. He's talking about, Katrina and all that. So he's not going to do it for no full album, but he'll have at least 2 or 3 songs per album or mixtape where he's talking about like some real world stuff going on.
That boy didn't sell 1 million first week off of just BS,
Yeah. No, exactly.
But
I will never see. By the way, like I was thinking about that a lot recently too. Like, bro, the fact that they still try to parade these numbers, like these fake numbers now, compared to when people was actually buying CDs. Like, I'll be seeing these like, yo, so and so sold 50,000 first week, and it's like, bro, they didn't. Like, it's almost like these numbers not real now. Like, I know the label put this together, like y'all had the right button set up, or y'all had the bundle package and y'all did this, did that. Like, it's hilarious to me that these labels still try to sell you dreams with these fake numbers.
Facts. Yeah, or they always trying to expose somebody for having, the biggest thing, with bots and stuff, Like I keep seeing like the stuff with like 21 Savage. They like, so look, his number just went down again because Spotify just did another bot clearing.
It's academics' fault, but like academics is to blame for a lot of the stuff that people hate on the internet, bro. And academics at the same time, like academics has been very influential in positive ways. I think, like I would say for me, I always say this whenever I critique academics. Like my entire kind of idea of streaming and then clipping up the stream of the segments of the stuff that I spoke on the stream into different videos, that was from academics. Like, cause I remember the first time I looked at this page and I was like, dang, this man upload 12 videos a day. And then I just realized it's just all his segments from his stream. And I'm like, okay, that's much easier. And then, of course, shout out to Holla. Keith, my boy over in Atlanta, Gwinnett. He was the one that was like, yeah, bro, just stream every night, and then the next morning just take a couple hours to clip up the streams and post it as videos. Like he put me on game, and that really like is what people see now. So academics, kind of started that and everything. So salute the academics on that end, but a lot of the just like the level of gossip, the depth of the gossip, like why are you on live, on TikTok live, on Instagram live, arguing, going back and forth with Ari Fletcher, bro? You know what I mean? Like, why are you going back and forth with Samaya? Like, Samaya is like 20. She just turned 20 like last month. You're going back and forth with her and trying to air out her dirt and her dirty laundry. Act. If I'm 31, you gotta be 34 at least, on the low end 34. Might be 35, right? Right, Mo? He like 35? Like, bro, come on. Like, why are you going back and forth with a 20-year-old girl, dog? You know what I mean? It's just like, that's the stuff that I think is just so just bad. And then with the reason why we even brought it up, the album sales and the bots. Coming up with the term K-bots, going undercover and researching who's botting, who's not, like that ruined a lot of just pure discussion, bro.
No, facts. Yeah, I think that whole topic is because people just, as you said, people care too much more about the numbers than the actual quality of the music. And if the first week numbers ain't hitting, then people are going to be like, I don't know if this album really, if I'm really finna check this out. Because I think people are just too influenced by what other people do, That's one of my biggest pet peeves, especially when I'm like, I'll say for me that I've come across it more with women that I've talked to, when I can tell your opinion is social media. Yeah, like when we have a discussion, like I'll never forget, having a conversation with this one girl about like Dave Chappelle. And the girl who I was talking to was bi, so of course she has a lot of people that she rocks with within the community and stuff like that. And I remember she was just like, yeah, like his stuff, just saying something about like one of his stand-ups, and I was like, well, have you seen it? She was like, no, but everybody on Twitter is saying blah blah, and I'm like, don't argue with me about what they like. I don't want to debate you on something that you haven't actually seen, because I'm like, then you don't even understand the context of everything, because people are going to have their own opinions. I mean, everybody's going to have like these particular opinions because they're trying to, for algorithm's sake, especially. And and that's the thing. Like you'll see that as I said, I've come across that with different women, and and even if I come across it with a guy, it's just annoying. It's like I'm always the type of person, if it's something that I actually want to actually have a true opinion on, I'm going to go get that opinion myself. Like, excuse me. Like I recently asked Rashad how he felt about Baby Keem album, like I was just curious, I wanted to hear his thoughts on it before I got a chance to listen to it, because I haven't really heard anybody talk about it, and I hadn't got a chance to listen to it myself. So I'm like, like okay, I kind of want to just get a gauge of it. I'm gonna go listen to it regardless, but I want a gauge of it. And then like I went and listened to it, and then I told him my opinion on it, and but easily, I could have just been like, just went off of what Rashad said, and then now the next person like, how's that Baby Keem album? Man, I'm hearing it's like X, Y, and Z and blah blah blah, and that's how a lot of people move. They just don't actually go really dive into it themselves. So I think that's just I don't know, social media, man. That is the thing that irritates me the most. I forgot how we even got on that particular part, but yeah, I feel like that'd be the big.
You were talking about numbers and then bots.
Oh yeah, facts. Okay, yeah. So
Johnny started it off by saying like the 50,000. We know that some of those numbers are fake nowadays.
Yeah, facts. But yeah, that was the whole point of people tend to only go to stuff that they're seeing is already popular. Like, I know there's a girl at my job who talks about that. She's like, I literally pretty much only listen to like what I see other people like talk about. Like, if it's not a song that other people are talking about, I'm probably not going to go listen to it. And it's like, now you'd be like, dang, that's you're missing out on so much good music that way, Like, at last person I'm gonna shout out, Sailor, Rashad was I was just telling Rashad about how recently just like I've heard about her, but I actually listened to her album. And the first thing I was ever introduced with her was people saying that, the topic of a woman who is not actually black, sounding black, and then really referencing a lot of black culture within her music, and how they were just feeling like she was appropriating it in a sense. But, so initially I was like, yeah, like, I don't really care. And then I remember the first person who ever told me that they liked her, I was like, you like her? Like, what? Like, as I said, my first introduction to her was that she was appropriating, and then I heard more people talk about it, and and then I was like, all right, I saw she was on the Summer Walker album. I was like, okay, she gotta be talking about something, because Summer ain't finna just be having anybody on her album. And I actually went and listened to it, and I was just like, oh, this is dope. This is actually really good. Like, she's very talented. Yeah, you could tell she clearly grew up around a lot of black people, and that was just her culture, Shout out to that Keke Palmer show. What was that, chicken fried rice or whatever?
Yo,
fried rice.
Did it ever?
She from Duval.
Right.
Did that show eventually? Did it ever come out?
Oh yeah, it's on YouTube. I think the whole season's out.
Yeah, I didn't. I don't know if I ever be watching that one, but yeah, I remember the outrage when she posted the trailer or whatever.
But nah, and and the whole point of it is I could see somebody just like this girl, like as we brought it up, how that was based loosely off of another young lady who grew up around nothing but black people. It's obvious she grew up in Duval, and she clearly was like around nothing but black people, Like, Shorty has a song say, I'm trying to see you in the blue lights like Belly. You feel me? I was like, she did not put Belly in this, but that's probably what she grew up watching, probably all her friends, and that's the culture that she knows. So it's like, I can't blame somebody for if that's what and I feel like that's what it is with her. It's like, this is obvious that this is how she grew up. So this is what she, is what she talks about. It's like, she can't talk about, she Vietnamese. So it's like, she can't, well, I mean, she could probably talk about some Vietnamese stuff, but, probably can't go too in depth on it if you were sitting there raised around nothing but black people.
Yeah, for me personally, I feel like you could tell the difference between somebody who is not black and actually grew up around other black people when they talk versus somebody who's non-black and they didn't grow up around other black people. and they like trying to talk a certain type of way because they think it's cool or something like that. I don't know. It's like the non-black people who actually grew up around other black people. It's like a less exaggerated, even if it is like a more black accent, but it's like less exaggerated. It's just a natural voice to it. You know what I'm saying? Like, Woah Vicky sounds like somebody who did not grow up around, even though she technically did because she went to our high school. But even though I know she technically did grow up in school with some black kids, but you could tell she didn't like it sounds like she's doing an impression more so than talking how she really talks.
No, facts. That's like, so that I'll have a problem if one of the dudes from BTS came out with a song talking about belly. You feel me?
Yeah. Or like talking about like "What's up, twin" or something like. I'm like, y'all.
Yeah.
Where did you learn this from?
Exactly. Yo, when I was in
go ahead, Mo.
I was gonna say when I was in New York, I had I don't know if I mentioned this on the pod. I remember I was walking through, like, I don't know if I told y'all the first function that we went to, it was very heavy LGBT. And we didn't know that. It was just like we were going to meet, this girl there, right? And so, but when we get in, it's like, they gave us little baddie keychains and stuff like that, right? I remember walking through, it was this white dude, looked like, might have been part of the community. As I'm walking by, Buddy goes, "Hey, Happy New Year, twin." And I was just like, "Happy New Year's, bro." Like, like what? Because it's like, it's not only that you're white and you're doing this. I'm in New York right now.
Right.
It is just like, why was that the thing you thought to say? But
happy birthday, Unc.
Right.
Yeah, that just goes to show how like social media is just kind of like I had a theory about this too, with the spring break and the Houston stuff, but it's just so social media, like we all in the same places consuming the same lingo, like everything is rubbing off on everybody because that's the only place where a white guy from New York would even hear that word is on social media. Because ain't nobody walking around New York talking about twin, what's up, like unless they got it from social media because they heard somebody from down south say it.
Yeah, no, 100%. I remember when the little fry memes were like, it was a thing where the dude who was wearing the hoodie and like his eyes were red and his mouth was open. And
Oh,
anytime someone would tweet something stupid, they would quote it with that. So one time that happened to like this girl I went to Valdosta with, school with, and but she said like what she said, like genuinely opened my eyes, bro. She was like, y'all think regardless of how much money we have, like you could have $13 or negative $13 in your bank, or you can have $1 billion to your name, and we all have the same iPhone. I was like, dang. Like you might have just said something right there.
That's a fact.
No, for real. No, that's real, bro.
No, but I was like to that point about us all being on the internet at the same time. The reason why I think like I know I'm much past spring break age, but I know that in like the last few years, Miami they stopped doing like the spring break, like they didn't want the kids coming down and all that. I get that, cool. I think the reason why these kids ended up picking Houston is because like the 18 to 22-year-olds, they're on social media with excuse me, all the older adults, like all the 25 and up. And Houston is like one of the main places that people excuse me, that people 25 and up, black people have been going to like the last few years for like a vacation destination and all that, like club scene and all that. I think these young kids thought that Houston was designed for their age group. Like they think that that's the type of place that they can go to. Like, bro, first off, Houston is not walkable whatsoever. It's actually one of the least walkable places in all of America. Like you have to have a car just to live out there. Number one. Number two, is super expensive for regular people, let alone uh, college students who don't really have disposable income like that. And then number three, is no beach out there. Like it's just concrete. Like I'm really, I really think social media influenced them to choose that, and they realistically they should have just been like, "Yo, we going to okay, they canceled Miami. I guess we're going to Myrtle Beach, or we going to something like that's the type of places they should be at. It don't make sense for a bunch of 18 to 22-year-olds to be in Houston.
No, facts. How do you feel is the after what age should you no longer be planning a trip around spring break?
24.
I was gonna say like 20. I'll say 20. You could be like a 6-year senior in college at like 24. But even then, you kind of you pushing it a little bit. You pushing it for real. But 24. Once you get to that 25 range, and it's like, all right, bro. Like you know, it's getting a little. But I also think it's a double standard when it comes to men and women too.
So you think like women can go do it longer?
I seen a girl on TikTok. She posted. She was like, "Yeah, I'm 31, but like at my big age, I'm thinking about going." This is like before. This is like last week or whatever. She's like, "At my big age, I'm thinking about going to Houston for spring break." And it was a bunch of comments, and I'm thinking,
Spring break from what? From work?
I'm thinking they about to be cooking her like yo, you too old for this, you too. But it was a bunch of people in the comments like, you never too old to have fun, and you.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, okay, like I see what's going on here. Because there's another dude who it was actually two dudes that went viral on TikTok because they was like 30, talking about like, yeah, we in Houston, like y'all gotta worry about us, your girl coming out here, like they was getting clowned. They was in the comments calling them like, bro, y'all old, like y'all don't need to be. So I do think it's a double standard too.
Man, I got a homeboy that that I was talking to him a couple weeks ago, and you know, like I'm like in the process of trying to like plan like, you know, my trips for the upcoming months and everything, and so I was talking to him, and he was just like, yeah, you know, he was like, yeah, you know, my brother trying to go. He was like, yeah, he trying to go to Houston for spring break. I said, spring break, bro, we 30. Like, what are you talking about? Like, we don't have spring break, bro. And he's like, well, you know, that's when I guess everybody, you know, supposed to be going down there. And I'm like, I guess, you know. And then he said, I guess, you know, like people want to go out there because there's going to be all these younger girls there, you know, that going to be bad. And you like, let me get out there and get in the mix with it. You know, everybody going to be out there lit. But for me personally, I don't know. I think I'm not going to plan a trip to be around a bunch of 18 to 22-year-olds. Like, that's not going to be where the trip is going to be navigated around, you know?
Well, not only that, around a bunch of 18 to 22-year-olds in a state where you don't have to, like, you can just have a gun with no, I think you can conceal carry with no permit in Texas.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be you know, it's gonna be 1,000,001 guns out there. Like it's a recipe for disaster. I didn't mean to cut you off though, Rashad.
No, you good. I was just gonna say, like to the 25 and up crowd, I get it because like, I mean, being my age, I'm 31. Like, you feel young forever. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, your body might ache sometimes by doing like certain things more than it did before, but in general, you like, I still feel I think it's probably because I don't have kids. Like I don't have kids and I'm not married. So I still feel young. And like I still, you know, depending on who you ask, I still look a bit young. So because of that, it's I'm saying all of this to say you don't feel too old to be out there on spring break. However, the reality of the situation is you are too old to be out there on spring break. And it's not like we're old like in life because we aren't old. But compared to college age kids, who are a decade younger than us, that's a decade difference and a very pivotal point of life. And you shouldn't be like, let it go. Just let it go. Like, move on to the. It's plenty of things that go on for us, people our age and stuff like that. That's age appropriate, and you know, what I'm saying, people just on a more mature like wavelength, bro. Like, it's not even patronizing kids because like some kids are mature and like they take school really seriously, and that's why they are partying so hard on spring break because they probably stress themselves out taking school so seriously and taking life so seriously in their regular lives. However, it's like most of them kids, the maturity is a different wavelength, bro. And you shouldn't want to be around that. Like, you should want to grow out of that. I don't know. I feel like I'm like being like, you guys are bad, you know, pointing my finger and stuff like that. But sometimes people need to hear that, bro. Like, take a step back and look at the optics here. Like, you were that age 10 years ago. It is no longer 20. I don't care what the internet says about 20. It is not 2016. It is
Facts.
2026, bro. Like, it's time to act like it.
No, facts. And I completely agree. That's why I say I think it'd be one thing if you had a trip planned to go to Houston and then just so happened it was like you're out there in the mix of like, in like a spring break or whatever. And I had texted Rashad last week because I met this young lady who was like 23. And she was a beautiful young lady. She just graduated from Jacksonville State, like, about to go to dental school, blah blah blah, right? And so I was like, she was cool, like we call it catching a little vibe, and I was like, man, I don't know, like, because I'm like, she's 23 though, and but it is one of those things that I think you can see how the situation goes, and if you feel like she's too young for you, then you keep it pushing. But and so I say all that to say, if I'm out there on a trip and let's say I'm out in like Puerto Rico, or if I'm going like a trip for my birthday, and I meet somebody that's like 21, 22, and just so happen they're there while we're in the vibes, it life happens, it is what it is. But I'm not gonna be like, oh, I heard all the youngins is finna be outside, all the young girls are finna be outside during this week. Let's plan.
They ain't got no kids.
Exactly, and yeah. So I don't know. To me, that's predatory, Like, and as I said, I get it. You want to have fun. A lot of these older girls, they not trying to have as much fun because they had their fun. You feel me? And I feel guys typically age out of that a lot later than women do, but that's because of more, I think, the biological clock thinking. I feel like women tend to age out of that a lot sooner because they're thinking about, I want to start a family. They're more focused on that, as opposed to, I feel guys, they be like, man, I can, I'll get there eventually, and so, but yeah, I don't know, man. I just can't see myself planning for that. It's like if it happens, it happens, but I'm not gonna plan to be at no functions, and that's like, and I feel like with the whole like homecoming, I feel like you go to homecoming, but you shouldn't be going to their parties. You feel me? You should be going to the alumni parties. Right. You should be going to like, that's what I would say. Like, you shouldn't be at the party with like whatever they got popping on campus that week. It should
whatever they got popping on campus.
You feel me? Like, for real. Like, you should not be at the local house party, at 30 something with all the 21-year-olds.
But I would say I do hate, and we talked about this last year during homecoming season. I do hate how students shame like old people going to homecoming, because it's like that is the point of homecoming,
right?
But like a homecoming party is for the students, yeah, like a house party on campus, like with the flyers and all that, BYOB and all that. Like, What's the what's the motion tonight? What's the da, da, da? Like, nah, you don't need to be following the kids to that. I agree with that.
But at the same point, there's alumni parties.
Yeah. It's just so much old stuff. Like, I don't want to say old stuff, but it's just so much adult things like Keith Lee Festival, right? That's happening in May. And then you got the BET Awards. And then right after that, you got Essence Festival. And then, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's just so many like adult kind of things that happen around the country for Black people specifically. If you want, I don't know when Afropunk is, but Afropunk, Broccoli City, trap karaoke. There's so many things that are like meant for adults to go out and have fun. So it's not a thing of like, man, there ain't nothing to do when you 30, bro. It's like they just forget about you. That like, because that's not true. If anything, with this generation, this is the best time to be 30 in your 30s because like our generation is having less and less, fewer and fewer babies because we got all these contraceptions and plan Bs and stuff like that. And then social media has made us like more selfish. So we don't have kids like that, like compared to other generations. So this is the best time to be 30, and feel like you want to have a social life. I say all that to say you don't have to feel obligated to go to the young people stuff just to have fun.
Facts.
Yeah, no, there's definitely, like you said, like this is in a weird way. This is the only way I can describe it. Like this is definitely the youngest generation of 30 and 40-year-olds to ever live. Like there's so many. I don't think anybody shames. Well, the younger kids might shame you, but they don't know any better. But for the most part, like if you 30, 40 going out, as long as you go into like the age appropriate places, nobody's really expecting you at this point to be in the house at 30 or 40. I know for a long time that used to be a thing. Like once you got to be like, really like it used to be like 30, it was expected you should already have your family and be settled down and be in a crib and but that era is kind of over with, bro. Like people is outside. Like I probably honestly I didn't do a ton of partying in my 20s. Like I probably do more partying overall in my 30s than I would in my 20s, but I'm not going to be going to the spots that were suited for me in my 20s. I don't want to be at the college bars or like you just know you could look around. Like man, I remember I was with you Rashad. Like we linked up maybe like just like right before you moved.
Remember the Georgia Tech joint?
Yeah, we were just walking around. Yeah, because he ended up going to the Georgia Tech game. But me and my homegirl, we ended up on Tech's campus because we were just walking with Rashad through the city basically. And well, I'm looking around. I guess they had like a little like frat barbecue or something like that on the campus.
We ran into like the Black students, like because you know how they have like Black student unions at white colleges. We ran into like the Black tailgate.
Yeah, so like we didn't plan on going there obviously, but like we out here and I'm looking around and I might sit out there for like a quick second, but then it's just something like just something in my head. I'm looking around like, bro, I might have been like 28, 29 at the time. I'm looking around like, bro, it's too many people under the age of like 23 out here, bro. I gotta get going. Like this is not, and I wasn't out there by myself. It was me, my homegirl, and Rashad was out there, but like yeah, after a certain point, it's like, bro, listen, this ain't my crowd. You gotta know when to keep it moving. So yeah, I say all that to say once again, if you are over 25, you probably should not be at spring break.
Facts. That Tatiana girl, I want to say this real quick, Mo. The Tatiana girl that used to date Real Boston Richie, you look at her. I used to look at her pictures because that's all I saw was just her pictures. I'm like, oh, she looked grown, like she looked older than her age or whatever. So I'm like, okay, Real Boston Richie dating this grown looking young girl. But then she was just on the stream with Jordan Lucas, I think, the other day, and I was watching the clip, and she was talking about Real Boston Richie while she stayed with him. She was like, VVS and that, he gave me all this and give me all that, but her voice sounded mad young. It was like she looked old with all the makeup and I don't know if it's surgeries or just, whatever it was, what they put in the foods now with the, all the hormones they put in the chicken. But Like she opened her mouth, bro. Pause. She sounded like a child, dog. I was like, ain't no way, real Boston Richie. I looked up his age. That joker our age. She 29. And she just turned like what, 2019? And they were together like 3-4 years ago. Real Boston Richie, you out of pocket, my boy.
Oh yeah, no, he's a creep. He's and it's crazy to me in this era that he just kind of casually got away with it. I guess because he's not really famous enough for people to like be outraged by it or anything like that. But yeah, it's nasty. I think she might be like 19 or something like that. And I'm seeing people try to blame her, like yo, you knew what you. I'm seeing people making videos like, yo, you know what you signed up for, and you're like, bro, if you was I knew a girl when we was in like high school. She was bragging about dating. I'm putting dating in quotes because you can't really be dating as you can't be a teenager dating a grown man. That's a word I can't say on here, but she was bragging about having a quote unquote boyfriend who was like 20 when we was like 16, 17 or whatever, or messing with guys that was in his 20s when we were like 15, 16. I'm sure if you ask that same girl now that we 30 how she feels about the situation, she's like, bro, that dude was weird. Like he was creepy. He should have went to jail. But at the time she was bragging about it because she didn't know better. I'm saying that to say at the time, I'm saying to say that a 16-year-old girl in this era, if a rapper is hitting her up in her DMs, like, of course, yeah, they're gonna brag about that and might go along with it because they're young and dumb. But then when she gets a little bit older, which she is getting older, she's gonna be like 19, 20, 21. She's probably starting to realize, like, oh, it's kind of weird that this grown man was messing with me when I was like 16, 17 years old. But now, you know, they say that, I don't know, man. People on the internet are weird, bro. Like, there's just I can't put any blame on a teenager for that whatsoever. Like, clearly this person was groomed to a certain extent.
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy.
And how was it? I don't know, man. I'm just trying to figure out, like, how does that still, like, post Me Too era? How does that still happen? Where, because I feel like that's the old era where you would see grown men messing with teenagers like that.
Yeah, Tyga was like the last one.
That's what bro, exactly. Tyga, that felt like the last time where it was like, all right, we can't let that happen again.
And even when people bring it up, they kind of bring it up like, remember when Tyga did that? But it's like kind of in passing. The thing that I go to with what you were saying, Jelani, is that Jada West situation. The 12-year-old over, in Gwinnett, in Douglas County. I saw this grown woman on Facebook say unpopular opinion, but I think Jada West should have just walked away. You shouldn't let somebody who's bullying you, saying words to you affect you that much and try to instigate stuff and turn it into a physical fight. You should have just walked away and been mature enough. I said, are you blaming a 12-year-old child? Like, a family's grieving, a mom's grieving of her 12-year-old daughter, and you're talking about you should have just walked away and had the what? Most people don't even have that patience at the age of 41. She was 12. Like, y'all got to stop with the victim blaming for kids, bro. These are kids.
People are. Were you trying to say something, Mo?
No, you good.
People are so, bro. Like, the things I see. TikTok is a great app, but it got the worst comment section on planet Earth, bro. Like, the things. I saw somebody. It was a video that popped up on my TikTok feed. Somebody did, because these numerology people be off their rocker, man. Somebody did a video basically trying to explain that Aiden Ross, from their perspective, rest in peace to his sister. They were trying to imply that he had something to do with his sister's passing. And they were like breaking down the numerology of, yeah, because she passed on this date at this time. And, he's scheduled to get a paycheck this time of year. I'm like, bro. They and not only that, it's people in the comment section really like genuinely agreeing, like, yeah, this checks out, this makes sense, this is the dark side of the industry they don't tell us about. I'm like, bro, we are down bad. Like, this is it's bad, bro. The media literacy, like it's crazy, bro. Things people believe right now because they see it on their phone.
Just the dark side of the industry is crazy.
And was dead serious, like really, like yeah, they don't understand where you coming
Just
from.
the dark side of the industry, man. My sister going, and you talking about this the dark side of the industry. If you don't shut up, go ahead, Mo.
Oh no, I mean, I was gonna say, yeah, that's crazy, bro. Like, I feel a lot of people they don't look at these people as real people going through real situations. They just see them as they're just celebrities, they're entities. They're not real. They're not real. So to them, it's like, yeah, it's all part of a conspiracy. It's all part of a bigger plot. This is for him to become more famous or blah blah blah. Like people really, stuff really just be happening, man.
People just pass away sometimes, unfortunately.
Just like your family.
Yeah,
Just
exactly.
like your family. Like, y'all ain't never had, you know what I'm saying? Like, a family member, dang, I didn't expect that to happen at that point. Just like how that happened to you, that happened to famous people. I seen the thing, Alondria, she was back in Alabama, I guess, or like back with her old friends. And she was just rapping to this like Alabama rapper song and stuff like that. I looked it up after. His name was like Lil Bub, and the name of the song is Dallas. They were rapping it word for word, just having fun in the car. And the caption was like, "I'm so glad Alandria, is going back to Alabama with her old friends, and I can imagine just the horrors and the weird things that she's seen in the industry." I'm like, bro, at the end of the day, this is like a 25-year-old Tuskegee University graduate, bro. Like, it is not that deep, dog. She is a person, bro.
Facts.
Yeah, people just watch way too many documentaries and think they. Now, don't get me wrong. There is probably a dark side to the industry, but I just think very few celebrities reach that level where they get to really see like how wild it is.
Yeah.
Definitely a dark side, for sure, for sure. But I mean, but all right. So this, I just looked up Tatiana Chanel, and these are the pictures that come up. She definitely posing, dressing, acting grown. But
I
when
mean,
you hear her speak, she sounds like a child, bro. And I was like, Boston Richie, you out of pocket, bro. You out of pocket, bro.
yeah, I
It ain't
understand. Like she before she probably we all knew those girls in high school that were like dress more grown than what they really were, or would be like, you know what I'm saying? But it's like I just feel like that whole you obviously you wasn't saying that, but like when people on the internet be saying like, oh, she's fast or it's like nah, bro. Like it's always gonna fall back on the grown person who makes that decision. And not only that, bro, it's like how is a 20 yo, how is a 27? Are you just casually popping out with like an 18-year-old girlfriend? And like, I don't know, man.
I don't even have nothing in common, bro.
What are we talking
She
about?
talking about I got math homework, bro. Like, you got my energy bill is due in 2 days, bro. And you talking to me about like, okay, all right. What you have to do to one side, you have to do to the other. PIMDOS. Like, come on, bro. Like, what are we talking about right now, bro?
Yeah, it's very nasty, very nasty.
Yeah. I mean,
Are y'all scared of like when you have kids going through school again? Are y'all scared of that?
As far as helping them out,
Yeah, like with homework and stuff.
no, because I would much rather at this point, like the way things is going with the kids, I'd rather help them than have AI help them, you know.
yeah. I ain't never really thought about it. I mean, I ain't worried. Be a good little refresher course.
I just be thinking about how much I've already forgotten. I'm just like, oh dang, like, cause you know how you looked up to your parents, like you looked up to them as like super people, you know what I'm saying? Superheroes, like they just the smartest folks in the world. They know all the answers to your homework, and then you get to about sixth grade, and they say, I can't help you with this number. And I'm just like, I don't remember none of this stuff, bro. Like
Right.
I remember trying to help my like little sister when I was in college, and I couldn't remember some of the stuff. So I just know in my 30s, 40s, with a child, I'm gonna be like, ask your mama.
Yeah, once we started getting the letters in math, that's when you couldn't really ask for too much help at that point.
That's what I'm saying. But that's what like Tati was going through when she was talking to Bossy and Richie when he was 25.
Yeah, you think she was asking for help on her own?
100%. 100%. Look, cause look, hey. All right, so I was in college. I was in college, but I was 19. So y'all know where this going. I was 19. My girl at the time was 17. 19, 17. Not crazy. Not crazy.
There's nothing wrong. Realistically speaking, there's nothing wrong with that. That's normal.
Realistically speaking, but there is like you in two different spots in life. 17, you know what I'm saying, preparing SAT, everything like that. I done threw SAT, ACT, all that out of my mind. That chapter, that folder has been deleted from my mind. Like I don't remember none of that stuff. It was like, come help me with, SAT preparation. So we went out to a coffee shop and took little practice SAT joints and stuff like that. Bro, I bombed them. I bombed them really bad. And then they was like trying to make me feel better. Like, oh, you almost got half right and stuff. I was like, shut up. Like, I ain't trying to hear that. I was like, bro, I don't need this because I'm already in college. And, I think that was just like a reflection of like, I can only imagine, bro, being 25. I was 19. I was still a teenager and I forgot all this stuff. Imagine being 25, like, and your girl talking, because your girl gonna be talking about it, bro. Like,
bro, she was not talking about that, bro.
What stressed you out when you was 16, bro?
I mean, I feel like with a person like this in like their situation, she is not talking about her ACTs. She going over there.
No, not SAT, but like she was definitely talking about, I would say, homework on a regular. If y'all talking every day, if y'all texting and talking every day, at some point she bringing up homework.
I mean, yeah, she might bring it up, but I mean, at the same time, it's like, to what extent? I don't think they are talking the way you would think they like. I don't think their relationship was probably the way you would like you and your situation was. It's like he probably like, AJ, come pull up. If he can't pull, if she can't pull up, then it's like, I bet I'll just see you tomorrow, or I'm about to fly you out. And it's just like when y'all together, probably just smoking, drinking, doing the thing. But it's just like he don't give the type of person that's like he just up on FaceTime all night with his girl talking about math homework and how her, her professor, her teacher, because she ain't even got no professor. She got her teachers are irritating her and stuff like that. It don't give that. Cause that's what she's like, cause he's like, dudes like that a lot of times is like, she's talking about how he giving her VBSs and stuff. He does all that so he don't have to talk. It's like, just come pull up. Like, I'm trying to hit something, Like, we might talk a little bit like while, but yeah, that boy would probably not helping her with no homework. I mean, she might mention it.
Like 4 years together though. 4 years together, like y'all had to like because I mean, I guess we live more regular lives, right? As regular people. So it's like I've you know what I'm saying? I've talked to people in recent years who are like, graduate school or went back to school to get another degree. And sometimes, they'll just be venting to you like, oh, my professor, we got to do in a thesis, a so-and-so paper, da 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 da. And I'm like, dang, folks older than me, folks my age and stuff. So it's not just like, restricted to that. I think if you together 4 years and you were 16 when you got with him, at some point she complained about homework in them 4 years, I would think.
No, I think she was asking for Birkins and things like that. I don't think she lived the life of a normal teenager, unfortunately, by the time, because I'm pretty sure she was probably, the way he probably found her, she was probably popping like Instagram famous by that point, and then people just didn't know how young she was, and so he just was like, all right, we're gonna keep it on the low right now while we're doing whatever we're doing, and then pop out when she's 18 or whatever. But I don't think, like Mo said, by the time she was probably like 16, 17, she probably wasn't too focused on the Pythagorean theorem or anything like that.
You think Beyonce will ever tell like the world what age she started dating Jay-Z at?
She was like, I think she was, I think they met when she was like 18, 19, and then, but they didn't start actually dating until she was like 21.
They popped out on her 21st birthday. Like that's when they popped out as an official couple.
Yeah, so probably realistically like 19, 20, probably.
Yeah.
So let's say it was like Jay was like 30, she was 19. I mean, 2026, yeah, it sounds kind of crazy, but in like 2000, 2001, I mean, it's a different era.
Yeah.
You trying to make us lose our Rock Nation deal early or late in the podcast?
He was 31. Hey,
Hey,
look, I remember I wasn't even 31. I wasn't even 31 before we even go there, right?
I wasn't even gonna bring that up.
I was bringing it up, R&B superstars, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? The young ones in the game, Well, actually, hey, shout out Jay-Z.
Hey man, hey, I don't know if I want to shout him out for that, but it was a different time though. My thing about it is that when it happened, like in real time, nobody was tripping about that. Like I remember being a kid in the early 2000s, bro. Nobody was like, "Yo, Jay-Z's a predator for damn." Like, bro, that didn't become a thing till we got on Twitter. Even with it being on Twitter, like, I feel like that just started in like the last 5 years. People were really talking about that.
Facts. The thing I remember from it was like Jay-Z too ugly for Beyonce.
Yeah, you would hear that. Nobody was really talking about his age though.
Right. No, that's a fact.
I think he was really just like, that's not my problem, but all right, fellas, is that it as we get to go past the 2-hour mark tonight?
Yeah, that's all I got.
Yeah, I didn't plan on this being the pod where Bam scored 83 points. Definitely didn't plan that at all. So it's kind of cool that got documented. But yeah, we want to do the. I'll start it off. We want to start off like our social media and all that. You find me on Twitter _Jelani. I really don't be on there like that, but 2 underscores at the end. Wait, did y'all have anything else, or are we good with the?
You good, bro?
Okay, all right, my bad. Yeah. Find the pod. I'm picking up my phone to look now. On Instagram, it's the 1 a.m. podcast. On TikTok, it's the 1 a.m. pod. So yeah, I gotta remember I did make a Facebook account, and I think it's one more. I'm working on a Snapchat and all that. So.
Okay. My bad. You can find me on TikTok at Rubber Band Mo. You can find me on Instagram at RBMO ____. And you can find me on X at MoNose _.
I felt like I had something to say. Well, that's it, everybody. We'll see y'all next week. Yeah, Bam Adebayo scored 83 points tonight. He broke Kobe Bryant's record.
Crazy. It sounds crazy to even say that.
Yeah. Well,
Hey,
go
real
ahead,
quick.
Mo.
I was gonna say, hey, if we lose our Rock Nation deal, I'm gonna make sure we get our our deal with Elon.
Hey, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Elon deal coming soon. You know what I'm saying? Shout out Asia Wilson. That Nike deal coming soon. Asia Wilson gonna get us right because we made the whole episode about Bam. I mean, I said shout out Jay-Z, you know, because I had to break down. I was like, okay, shout out Jay, you know. I said that's just not my problem. But all right, we'll see y'all next week, man.
All right, peace.
Throw your motherfucking hands.
Get 'em high.